So in today's topic, I'm going to explain you what is VPC. I'm going to explain you what is VPC. First, I want to know how many of you don't know nothing about cloud computing. Please let me know.
I don't know. But I also don't know.
Pradeep, you don't know. What about others?
So Shailesh here. I also don't know anything about the cloud.
Shailesh, what you are saying?
I am saying that I am also having zero knowledge about the cloud.
There's a lot of background noises coming from you, right?
Good evening, sir. Myself new to the cloud computing, sir.
Okay, Ajit. Okay. What about others? Ajit, Anjali, Bharat, Kailash. What about you guys?
We all know.
Don't know much about it, sir.
Hello. I said Anjali, I couldn't hear the question.
I'm asking, how about you know about the cloud computing?
Okay. So I just cleared certification that's cloud practitioner level.
Okay.
Yeah. So that much I know, like the basic services.
Okay, so you most are looking to me basics things, right? Basic in cloud.
Yes, sir.
Real time some experiences, like real time how we deploy few of the applications to cloud, migrations, and most related to near to the role solution architect.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let me change the topic because seems like audience is more inclined to know basics. So what I'm going to cover is basic things. What is cloud computing? And then I will be explaining what is elastic
I
compute
think
cloud.
this is going to be very basic.
Yeah.
I think
But
everybody must be knowing all this. I think so.
no, they are not. So you know about Elastic Compute Cloud, how to create VMs in Windows, how to create VM for Linux.
Yes.
No, sir, we don't know. I don't know.
Sir, I know about Windows, but I don't know about Linux.
So let's cover about S3. That I just want to know from everyone where you are working. Can you go on the mute, please? There's a lot of background noise from your side. Replication rules. You know about replications in S3. So what you want to know? Let this open platform for everyone. So VPC would be a good thing, I think, for everyone. All agree to do VPC?
Yes. So it would be very good if you could go through this VPC peering, VPC endpoint, and all those topics.
Not all topics will not be possible, but I will try to explain you.
Okay.
Cool. Let's go with VPC then. So let me first introduce. My name is Ritesh, and I do have total of 12 years experience. I have worked with multiple organizations during 12 years. I'm currently working with one of the organizations as a cloud architect. I'm handling 2 teams. One team is on AWS with .NET Core, GraphQL, Entity Framework, and other team is on React, with GCP, and some of the workloads are already there for Azure. So in total, I have more than 6 years experience with AWS only. All right. So today I am going to explain you what is VPC. When I say VPC, I'm talking about virtual private cloud. Virtual private cloud. So under this virtual private cloud, what is VPC? Let's understand about what is VPC first. So VPC means that you are going to create your own network. In simple and short words, creating your own network in AWS is being called VPC. By default, in every AWS account, every AWS account has one default VPC. And under that VPC, we are not going to work. This is the recommendation from AWS Azure. Whether you are going for any cloud vendor, this is not a recommendation that you will going to work with default VPC. So that VPC you have to create by your own according to your requirement. Like in my case, I will be taking one VPC range and I will explain you on that range. For example, when I say VPC, like I have already said to you that VPC means that I am going to create my own network. And during the own network, one range I am going to choose, and that range we call it CIDR block. In case you don't know about this, this is inter-domain routing tables basically. So let me show you and draw about. Go to draw.io. Here I am going to explain you what is VPC first. VPC. First I am drawing that VPC. VPC means that your network. It is your network that you have created, right? Under this VPC, I am going to work with one of the range, and that range I am choosing is 10.0.0.0/26. You might be wondering, because you don't know, if you don't know about anything that, about the CIDR block, then you might be wondering from where I'm picking this range 10.0.0.0/16. What does it mean? That means it is a CIDR block. CIDR block can be starting from 0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255. So in every block, in every digit, we do have 4. Let me show you something. So this is what I'm talking about. If you go with this documentation, IP and CIDR block, if I'm taking 10.0.0/16, here you need to remember, before this slide, you need to understand this part. When I'm saying 10.0.0.0, there are 4 digits in an IP address, represent a set of 8 binary digits. When I'm writing 10 means 01010000. So this will become 10. In total, it would become 10. If you go with this number, copy this number and go in reverse order, let me just copy it. Starting from 0, it will be 0, right? It will be 1, it will be 2, it will be 4, like this. So 1, 2, 4, 8, right? Here it is 8, here it is 2. It becomes 10 for you, right? Similarly, if I go with this calculation, you will understand 10.0.0.0 meaning, right guys? Then I'm taking another range 10.0 to 55 to 55 just to explain you. Here I'm taking all one. Why? Because I want to take 255, and that number you need to keep increasing. That number you will keep increasing. And if I'm saying this 10.0.0.0/16, that means I want to block two sides. Lowest possible IP, this is highest possible IP. And if I'm going with 10.0.0/16, that means 216 bits are logged here, and this is free to choose. These are logged here. So let me show you one example, then you will understand much better. Let me go to 10.0.0/16. First, let me go to Excel and explain you what range I am going to take it. I am taking CIDR block as 10.0.0.0/26. Here I am taking 26. What does it mean? It means that you can have this range from 16 to 32 as a maximum range. This is the networking fundamentals that you need to read about before coming to AWS. So here what I'm doing is I'm just telling you one plain formula that you have to use it. You have to use equal and 32. This would be fixed minus whatever number you have adding here. Like in my case, adding 26, right? 26. It would become 6. Then you need to add 2 power that number. That number is how much? That number is 6. So how much it would become? 64 machines, 64 IPs. If I'm going to create a network of this range, I will get 64 machines. I will get 64 machines in total. Right, guys? Then I create subnetting. Subnetting means I'm going to create my shorter network now. Right now, I have created a bigger network, 10.0.0.026.
Sorry to interrupt you. One questions I have here. So when you said like
I will be taking in the last.
Oh, okay, cool.
Let me explain you first. 10.0.0/26, 64 IPs I will get. Then I will be working with subnet. Subnetting means I want to distribute this network into multiple parts now. For example, range I am taking for subnet is 10.0.0/28. What does it mean? 28. So you have to again apply the same formula that out of 32, for example, here I'm calculating 32 minus 28 is equal to 4, right? So 4 power 2, or you can say 2 power 4, 16 IP you will get. And starting range is 10.0.0, 10.0.0. From this range, it will go up to 16 machine like this. Total 15 machines IP you will get. This is subnet 1. Just imagine this is subnet 1. Similarly, I am creating another subnet. Here I am writing subnet 2. And the range for that I'm giving 10.0.0/ this time I am instead of 0, I am giving 16/28. So this means same in subnet also I will get 16 IP, but this time it would be starting from 10.0, 16 to 31, total 16 IP you will get. Similarly, I am creating subnet 3. Subnet 3. Subnet 3 means 10.0.0 slash, here I am taking ranges 32. 10.0.0 32/28, starting from 32 to 47. Similarly, subnet 4. Subnet 4 starting range would be 10.0 48 to 28. I would get 16 IP here also, 10.0.0 48 to 63. Sorry. So in total, you will get 64 machines. If you see the count, it is showing you 64, right guys? 64 IPs you will get. But one thing I am telling you, because this is very important from the interview perspective or the certification perspective, every subnet you are going to create, AWS will block 4 to 5 IPs. That is fixed. 5 IPs AWS will keep. 5, 5, 5, 5. 5 IPs they are not going to give you. First, I think 4, and then this one. They are going to reserve it for some internal purpose. One is for research purpose. One is for networking purpose. They are going to block these IPs. They will never give you these IPs. So in short, if you are going to create the 4 number of subnet, you will get -20. Every subnet AWS will extract 5 IPs, because you are going to create 4 subnet here. 20 IPs AWS will not give to you. In short, you will get 44 IP. Now, please ask your question. Who was asking the question? Who was that? Any questions, guys, so far?
So these IP ranges will be inside this particular VPC, or maybe if I create another VPC, that also will take the same IP address ranges, or it will be different?
No, this is my IP1. All right. Similarly, I will be creating another IP block for you. Because somebody has requested connection peering, right? Today I will show you how to do connection peering. I will create 2 different CIDR block. This one created, right? Similarly, I will create another one using this range. So here also I will be picking, for example, 28 I am picking, or 27 I am picking. In case of 27, how much machines I will get in total? 32 machines, right? So that 32 machines I will be dividing in 2 subnet. Let's divide in subnet 2, subnet 1 and subnet 2. Here I am going to use 198.168.0.0 slash Pradeep. You can switch off your camera. It's not a good practice while sleeping. You are seeing the sessions. So starting from this 192.168.0.0/27. What does it mean? That I'm going to create 168.0.0 and I need 16 machines, right? So 16 for 16 you need to do here 28. So starting from 0 to 15 you will get it here. And second subnet I am going to create is 0.16/28. That means I'm going to create 192.168.0.16 to 31. Right, guys? So I will do a connection pairing between these two VPCs. I'm going to create two VPC. This is my first VPC. This is my second VPC. Let's go to diagram and understand more. Let me copy this link. Yeah, Nag.
Yeah, I have a question here. I mean, even the earlier person asked the same thing. These are two different VPCs, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's one network and this is one more network. So what we are trying to ask is, I mean, we have a range here. I mean, these are anyways like internal IP addresses because it starts with 10 and 192. So the question is, I mean, whatever the range we are using in the first VPC, can we use the same range in the next VPC? Because these are two different VPCs. Can we have same internal IP addresses for those?
Exactly.
You can use, but when you are going for the connection pairing, it will not allow you to connect. You can use different range, but it will not allow you to connection pairing.
But
for connection pairing, you need different range.
Yeah, sorry, one more thing here. I mean, as these are two different VPCs, like we connect through using public IP, right? Not private IP, because we cannot connect using internal IP.
We will connect using private IPs.
Oh, we'll connect using private IPs because it's two different VPCs. So I thought like we use external IPs to connect.
If you are connecting through external IPs, then why we are creating peering connection? The meaning of peering connection is you want to connect privately.
Oh, okay. I got it.
I will explain you how to do that.
Thank you for the clarification.
No worries. So here I'm going to create one VPC first, 10.0.0/26. And if you go with this diagram, here I'm going to change the range to 26. And I'm going to create two subnets. I'm going to create two subnet. Under that VPC, I'm going to create two subnet. And that subnet, I am going to tell name of this subnet I'm going to tell is this is public subnet and this is private subnet. Now you might be wondering why I'm giving public subnet and why I'm giving private subnet. Meaning of public and private subnet is not only by giving a name, it will become a private subnet for you. How it is called private subnet? You have to go in details, and when you go in details, you will find when you actually create a VPC, by default one routing table will get created. And there is a concept of internet gateway. Trust me, if you understand this basic fundamentals, you will not forget for entire life. Internet gateway means internet facility. In AWS, internet gateway is a service who is giving you internet services. If that internet gateway is there in AWS account and the entry of that internet gateway is available in routing table, and that routing table is attached to subnet, that means it is a public subnet. Public subnet means that subnet machines can be accessible through outside world. So in short, I am repeating again, if you have one subnet and that subnet is attached to routing table and that routing table has entry for internet gateway, that means it is a public subnet. If similarly, if I have another routing table for private subnet also, but that does not have an entry for internet gateway, that means it is a private subnet. That's the only difference. Now, if you are a fresher, if you don't know anything about the, I would say VPC, then you might be wondering why I'm creating two different subnets here. The answer would be let's suppose you're working on one application. This is front-end application. On front-end application, you need to put that application in public subnet so users can access that application. They need external IP, right? Similarly, nobody cares about your database. Nobody wants to connect with that. That database you can keep in private subnet. That database you can keep in private subnet. Or the beauty of subnet is within the VPC, your app can talk to database privately. That is possible. So let me quickly create one VPC related thing to AWS console and show you one quick demo. Go to AWS. Sign into console. And let me write a range also. Go to this diagram, just copy it. And this time I would be taking range as 27 for sure. And here I'm taking is 10.0. Here I would be taking 22, right? Total I will get 64. And here I will get 32, starting from 32, right guys? So please let me know if you are able to understand these things. This will become nothing for you. If you're not understanding this calculation, you will be struggling to know. Let me know if you have any questions on it. Why I'm taking 27? Why I'm taking 26 here? Why I'm dividing into two networks? So let me go to AWS Management Console and type here VPC. Once I go to VPC and click on this VPC, you will find in by default one VPC is available here. By default, one VPC is available here. This is VPC, right guys? Default VPC. So I'm going to create my VPC. I'm sorry, don't ping again and again in the private chat. Yes, this will be a course. This will be a paid course, right? We are going to start a batch again. Yes, that will be a paid. That will be a 40 to 50 hours of training. That would be a 40 to 50 hours of training. Just treat this as a demo that I'm giving to you. That's how I teach. So mostly it will be advanced topics I'm going to cover and everything in a practical way. Yes, we are going to start from this weekend only. Yes. So let me go to create VPC. So once you go to create VPC, first thing it will ask you your name of VPC. Here I'm giving his name as, for example, test VPC or demo VPC. All right, demo VPC, and what range I want to give? 10.0.0 26 I want to give. That's it. Nothing you need to do. That's it. Your VPC is created, right? With the range of 10.0.0, you can see your VPC. This is your VPC, right? One VPC I have created. Now I will go to subnets. Under the subnet, I will be creating two subnet. Go to subnet, create subnet, and click on creating a subnet under the demo VPC. And here I am giving a name, public VPC, public subnet. Here I am giving no availability zone preference, and the range I am choosing here is 10.0/27. Create subnet. Similarly, I'm going to create another subnet in demo VPC, and this time I'm taking a range name as private subnet. Private subnet 10.0.0.32 public 27. I'm going to create the subnet. Right, refresh, close the filter. Now you will see I have created two VPCs, right? Private subnet, public subnet, and see the beauty here. I have told you, right? So you will be getting 32, 32. Here you will get 32 IP. Here also you will get 32 IP. But here what you are getting? 27. So AWS has blocked 5 IP. Per subnet, it has blocked 5 IPs. So now I have created two subnet also. Now, when you create your VPC, guys, when you create your VPC, automatically one route table will get created in against of VPC. This is your table, route table. In this route table, what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to create one internet gateway. Once I click on internet gateway, I'm going to create one internet gateway, and name I'm giving is demo gateway IGW. You can give any name, demo-IGW, and create internet gateway. Once you are creating internet gateway, it will be created in detached stage. Once you are going to create it, it will be created in detached stage, that you have to attach it at later moment of time with VPC. So if you refer now, I'm talking about this. This is detach, right? As of now, this is detach. So you have to attach with your VPC ID. As of now, VPC ID is blank, right? You have to attach it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to internet gateways and click on this IGW. As of now, it is showing you detached, right? I'm going to attach it with my VPC, attach to VPC, and this is my VPC, demo VPC. I'm going to attach this internet gateway with my VPC. Cool, done. My VPC is attached, right? Now what I say to you, if you have subnet, if you have routing table, and that routing table is associated with your subnet, and if that routing table has an entry for internet gateway, that becomes a public subnet. Not only via giving a name public subnet, private subnet, it becomes public or private. By owning a giving of entry of internet gateway, it becomes public private. So here I'm going to do same thing. I'm going to routing tables, and in routing tables, this is my routing table, right? Public demo VPC. Let me click on this, right? Let me click on this demo VPC. And here I need to go to subnet associations. In subnet association, you need to click on edit subnet association. First, I am doing an association of public subnet, not private, because I want to attach to this routing table to public subnet. This is one thing, save association. Second, what I said, there should be an entry of internet gateway. Exactly. Go to this and click on routes. Once you go to routes, click on edit routes, and here you need to add an entry for whole traffic should move to internet gateway. Once you select internet gateway here, it will publish your existing, that you have created this internet gateway, right? Demo IGW, that you need to select here and save changes. That's all, guys. That is VPC. Any questions as of now?
So internet gateway will be attached to the VPC or the subnets?
No, internet gateway will be attached to your routing table, and that routing table will be attached to subnet. See, once I go to route tables, let me go to route tables. Once you go to route tables, this is my route table, my VPC route table. Let it be downloaded. Yeah, this is right. So this is what's your name? Okay. So this is my route table, right? This route table has two sections. One is route. In route, you should have entry for internet gateway. In subnet association, whatever subnets are attached to this routing table, that all subnet will become public subnet. Are you following?
Yes, yes.
So there is a relation. That relation is, in first you have to create internet gateway, then you need to go to routing tables. In routing tables, you will find two sections. One is routing. There should be a routing table entry. Then association. Whatever subnet association is there, that will become private or public subnet based on entry of internet gateway in routes.
Okay.
It
So,
helps.
basically the internet gateway will be attached to the route table, and the route table will be attached to the public subnets or private subnets, whatever it is.
If you are going to attach it with the private subnet, that also will become a public subnet. Like I
Yeah.
say, don't go with the names. Whatever you are going to attach with this, for example, I am just adding this subnet also. So I'm removing this. This subnet also I'm going to attach with this. Then these both subnets will become public subnet.
Okay. In that case, I think we can have this NAT gateway.
No, NAT gateway serves a different role. But what I'm talking about is internet gateway as of now. First, understand internet gateway. I'm going to explain NAT gateway also.
Okay.
Now you are clear about this internet gateway?
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Any more, Shailesh? Any questions?
Yes, sir. One confirmation that first we will create an internet gateway. Then after that we will route it. Then after that we will map it with the
Associations.
subnet. Then the
Yes,
subnet
right.
will be under the our main VPC.
Yes, right.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, can you just go to the application, I mean, the console?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So for, I mean, can I just see the internet sorry, gateway one? Where is that? Sorry, I'm new to this console. That's why I'm just.
No worries.
Okay. Okay. So you
This
have
is
an internet gateway. Okay, we created one. Okay.
yeah.
So and then we have attached it with the routing tables, right? Like, can you just show me?
That gateway I have done the entry in routing table.
Okay.
And that routing table you have to associate with subnet.
Okay. 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 Got it. I got it now. Yeah.
There's a dependency that you need to draw this in on the plain paper. Generally, what I suggest to my students, that you can design this in on over the whiteboard or somewhere here. Then you will understand better, like the way I explained to you. So this is internet gateway. If internet gateway is having entry this in routing table, and that routing table is attached to any subnet, that will become public subnet. That's it. Cool, guys. Should I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Cool. Let me create few instances now. Then I'm going to show you that. Let me go to EC2 quickly. I will be creating two instances and I will show you. For one instance, you can take a remote because that's part of your public subnet. And for one instance, you will not be having a remote. So let me click on launch instance. I'm not going to explain you what is EC2, how it works, because we are working mainly on the VPC. That you can consider when you are going to enroll for this course. We are definitely going to cover that, but just for demonstration purpose, I'm going to quickly initiate two machines here. One is I'm keeping the name here is, for example, public machine. I'm giving the name public machine. I'm working with Windows. And under the Windows, I'm taking, for example, I'm taking 8 GB of instance because I have a privilege to work with AWS as a free. So I'm taking this 8 GB. So when you are doing a practice, you can choose free tier accounts and all. So I'm taking 8 GB. That's not a problem for me. So I'm going to create this instance using simp demo. So I'm just choosing or create new key pair. I would be choosing, and here I'm saying is win key and create a new key pair. So one thing I want to share with you that once you go to network settings, in network settings, I'm saying I want to work with my VPC, which is default demo VPC, right? Under this demo VPC, I want to create instance, and this too in public machine. So sorry for that. So I'm going to choose here public subnet. Once you are going to choose public subnet, you need to auto assign public IP enable. That's it. Your settings are done. Now I'm going to create this instance and RDP is allowed. And 30 GB is the root volume. I am 100% sure I am going fast on this part because this is how you create EC2 instances, a general process. Like somebody said, everyone should be aware about this very basic thing, right? So I'm going to launch instance in my owned VPC this time, demo VPC, and this too in public subnet, and auto sign public IP is enable. I'm going to launch this instance, launch. Similarly, I'm going to launch another instance. Go to instance and click on launch instance. And this time I'm going to give a name, private machine. Private machine. Under the private machine, I'm going to work with Windows, and in Windows, same, I'm going to choose this time 8 GB, and key pair, I want to use my key pair that I've created, win key. So win key I'm using, and in network settings, I'm going to change to demo VPC, and here I'm selecting private subnet this time, private subnet. And I'm going to take auto sign public IP as disabled, RDP allowed. That's it. Let me launch this instance also. So I have created two instances. Just to recap, I have created two instances. One is public machine and one is private machine. Both the machines I've created for the purposefully that public machine, you can take a remote from internet. That I'm going to show you that how I'm taking a remote of this machine. And private machine, you will not get private public IP, right? Let me click on public machine. Once I click on public machine, very, very important thing you need to remember here, who are not joining this session for the first time, then they might be not able to understand why we have created VPC. That is the purpose. That range, you have the control on that range now, because I have chosen my this subnet 10.0.0/27. That's the reason it is coming under 27 only. It's starting from 0.013. It is coming to you, right? It is 13. And when you go to private machine, this is coming as 40. Right, guys? That thing you need to understand why we are creating purpose of this PPC. So if you go to public machine, you will get a public IP. When you go to private machine, you will not get any public IP. Simple. Let's not complicate the topic of VPC. It is nothing. Just you have to understand basic networking. It is nothing, guys. I will show you other advanced things also, endpoint also. That was also nothing. You just had to understand basic terminologies. So now I will go to public machine and let's log into public machine. Let's click on this, go to actions, networking. In networking, basically I need to retrieve a password. So that password I would be retrieving using get Windows option. And here I'm going to work with win key. So under this win key, decrypt the password. This is the password. Let me copy the password, say OK, and I want to log in that machine. What you can do is click on connect, right? Click on RDP. I will go for download RDP, right? Once this is downloaded, you need to double click on this and connect with this instance. Double click and enter your password here that I have in clipboard. So okay. So once you say okay, you are connected with this instance, and this instance is getting created in my own VPC. It has 8 GB of RAM. Similarly, I have private machine also, right? So, but that private machine, if you see carefully, if you go to that private machine, you will see public IP is not available. Public IP is not available. So you cannot connect to this instance. But like I said, within the VPC, you can connect very easily. Within the VPC, you can connect very easily without any entry or nothing. Just take the public private IP, copy this IP you have to take and go to this instance now. Now from this instance, I'm going to take RDP. I'm going to take RDP. And of which machine? This machine. This is private IP. From your network, you can even talk to private IP machines. Click on connect. Allowing, yes. So I'm asking for details. Administrator, by default password would be, username would be administrator. Password you have to retrieve. For private machine 2, go to actions, security, get Windows password. Click on public, upload private key file, win key, and there you go. It is a password. Copy this and go to this and paste and say okay. Yes, you are connected with this instance also, right? This is your private instance, right guys? You are following?
So the private instance only be accessible from the public.
Yes, right.
So I'll not be able to RDP from my local host.
No.
Okay.
That's the purpose of it. If you see this diagram, because if this is a user, right? This user can connect to this public subnet machines publicly. This is allowed, but nobody can access to private subnet because the purpose is to give security to your database. Let's imagine you are hosted your database on private subnet. Nobody can interact directly, but your application needs to have connectivity, right? That's the purpose of it.
Thank you. Got it.
Cool. So now you have 2 machines with you, right? This is let me just design in a way so that you can see. This is your private machine. This one, short one. This is your public machine where you have the public IP also, public IP address. But on this machine, you will not see public IP. Public IP is blank, right guys? You are following this, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Let me do to another. All right. Should I proceed now to another topic? NAT Gateway. I'm going to work with NAT Gateway now. What is the use of NAT Gateway? NAT Gateway means, let me go to design. NAT Gateway means instead of Internet Gateway, we have another service we call NAT Gateway. NAT Gateway will always be part of subnet, public subnet. Why? Because public subnet is giving you Internet Gateway, and that NAT Gateway service will be used internally, Internet Gateway. So what is the use of NAT Gateway? NAT Gateway usage is that now you have blocked entire subnet from outer world. From outer world, you have excluded that nobody can take a remote of your DB. Nobody can talk to your machine in an internet manner, right? Nobody can talk to your these instances. But imagine a situation where your database is looking for some updates from Microsoft, from AWS, from Oracle, from another website, some peering connection he wants to create under that. How it will be done? So by creating a private subnet means nobody can interact to your instances, and that also means that you will not be able to contract with it outer world. Like the same status when we work with WhatsApp, and when we change our settings to nobody can see your status or nobody can see your last seen. Similarly, you cannot see last seen of others, right? Here also same example, that if you're blocking yourself from external world, you cannot talk to external world. That's why AWS has given a new service with the name of NAT Gateway. With the NAT Gateway, you can contact to outer world, but still outer world will not be able to contact with you. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me go to private instance and click on internet. Here I want to access internet. Can I access? Can I access by default?
No.
If I type google.co.in, this will not allow you to connect. By default, no internet. That means you are in private subnet, right? For this, what I am going to do is I am going to create one more thing. That thing is I am going to create my own routing table now. By default, when you create a VPC, one routing table would be created, right? Here I am customizing, creating one route table, and that route table I am giving a name, private route table. VPC, which VPC? Demo VPC. Create this route table. Now you will ask me, what is the purpose of creating this route table? The purpose is I want to go to this table, and first I want to create a NAT gateway. And that NAT gateway entry you have to make in private route table. So first of all, you need to go to NAT gateway and create NAT gateway. So I'm giving a NAT gateway here. For example, demo NAT with subnet. Like I said, NAT gateway, whenever you are going to create, that would be created in public subnet always, public subnet. And when you are going to create NAT gateway always need elastic IP that I am going to allocate. Elastic IP means static IP that I have allocated. This is a static IP, right? And create your NAT gateway. Once you are created a NAT gateway, right, you need to go back to routing tables. And under the routing tables, you have to do the same thing, whatever you have done earlier. First thing first, you have to do a subnet association. That this time you are saying, I'm doing a subnet association, and subnet association I'm doing for private subnet. Save association, right? And similarly, I want to give here routes. Under the routes, I'm going to edit routes and adding an entry for 0.0, all traffic should move to NAT gateway, and this is my NAT gateway. Save changes. Cool. All things are done. Now go back to your instances and run it again. google.co.in. I want to run this. Let me check all the entries again. Private route table, this is fine. Go to routes. I think NAT gateway takes some times in initializing, so it is not working. Probably we have to wait for 1 or 2 minutes. It is showing as of now pending, so probably it will be coming up in some time. So till that time, this is not working, right? Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Refresh. Yeah, now it is available. Now let's test it again. Google.co.in. Wow, it is working, right? Right, guys, you are following this?
Yes. So I have a question. Like in which scenario we will use NAT instance?
NAT instance, nobody use now. NAT instance means NAT instance. There was one instance. Now we use NAT gateway. NAT gateway means AWS is giving you highly availability. In the NAT instance, we used to create one instance as a NAT.
Okay. So it will work as a public it will take a public IP and it will be exposed to the outside of the world, right? The NAT instance, if I'm not wrong.
Sorry.
So what I'm saying is the NAT instance will have the public IP and it will be exposed to the outside world so that it will be accessible. So that is the purpose of that instance, or?
No, the purpose is the difference between NAT gateway and NAT instance is NAT instance is going, if NAT instance is not working, there is no plan B. But if NAT gateway is going down for some reason, AWS is taking care internally and creating another system for you in the background. So this NAT gateway is handling higher availability. But in case of NAT instance, if NAT instance is going down, your services will not work. That's the difference.
Okay.
One question here.
Yeah.
So these are the two ways, basically, if you want to do peering, from if you want to connect between private and public network, right? Is that what is the main motto here?
No, these are older way, I would say. NAT gateway is the older way. New
Okay.
ways are available in the market with the name of endpoint peering connections.
Okay. Cool.
So let me take one more topic. Let's talk about peering connection. So peering connection, under the peering connection, what I want to do is I'm going to create another VPC. Quickly, I'm going to create another VPC. And this time I'm saying this is test VPC, right? And the range I'm giving is 192.168.0.0/27 or 26, right? Let me copy this range and create VPC. Similarly, I'm going to create two subnet. Create subnet. I'm going to create an under test VPC, and I'm saying this is my private subnet. And in last, I'm adding, in last, let me add test subnet. And here I'm giving a range 192.168.0.0, and this time I'm giving 27. Create subnet. Similarly, I'm going to create another subnet, and range I'm giving it test VPC, and subnet name I want to give is earlier I have chosen private, right? Let me see what I have given. Private one, right? Private I have started from 0, and this time I'm going to give test VPC, and I'm giving public subnet, and name I'm giving is test, and here I'm giving a range, and range starting from 32. I hope you understand this calculation now, right, guys? I'm creating another subnet. So I have two subnet, right? Starting from 0, this is my private, and starting from 32, this is my public subnet. Cool. Now I'm going in routing tables. I'm going in routing tables. I have one routing table created for test also. Test VPC, right? Now what I want to do is, I want to create one instance. I want to create one instance in private. So let me go to EC2. In private of test, I want to create one instance. Click on launch instance. And this time I'm going to create one private test. So that means I want to create private instance in test VPC. Here I'm selecting Windows and I'm taking 4 GB, and this time I'm taking one Win keys, existing key, and I'm changing a network. Network I'm changing to test VPC, and under that test see, I'm taking private subnet, and that private subnet, that's it, launch instance. Now what I want to do is, I want to connect this instance that I have created, this one, private test, from public machine of another subnet, right? This is another subnet and this is another subnet. How can I connect with this? By default, it is not allowing you. By default, it will not allow you to connect with different VPCs. It will not allow you. For that purpose, you need to do peering. When you go to this, you need to do a peering. I will tell you how that peering will be done. First, let this instance come into the picture. This is initializing. So till the time I'll go to peering connections. I'll go to peering connections. Here I'm going to create a peering connection. And here I'm saying is test peering connection. Any name you can give. I'm not too much good in giving naming convention. So I'm fine with test peering connection. Select a local VPC to peer with. What would be requester? Requester in my case, I'm saying is demo VPC is a requester. And where you want to do a connection, acceptor. Acceptor would be test VPC, right? This VPC peering, guys, can be happen in same account or another account also. So here I'm going to work with this as a requester, this as a acceptor. This is requester, this is acceptor. That's it. Create peering connection. Once you create a peering connection, once you go to back to create peering connections, you will see the status of is pending acceptance. Pending acceptance. You need to click on this and approve it. Because we are in same account, that's why we are getting request here to accept it. But if you are in different account, you will also get a option here to accept and reject. So here it says the peering connection ID is this, requester ID is demo, acceptor ID is test VPC. So are you fine? Yes, I'm saying fine, accept. Done. Your connection peering has been done. Can I connect with that instance now? Any thought on that? Can I connect now? Answer would be no. I still not connect. Let me show you first. Let's wait for this instance to be live in a minute. It's taking much time. Let's wait for it. During the, let me share that, yeah. That number for your information, if you want to enroll, he is Amit. His name is Amit. He is the account manager. You can contact to him about any details, fees, or any course, durations, everything will be assisting you. +919540662806. His name is Amit. So you can contact on this number. Let me pass on this number to chat window also. Let me refresh now. It is available, right? Let me try this. Copy this IP and try to connect. Go to your public instance. Let me go to RDP, paste and connect. It says no, you cannot, right? It is in continuously mode trying, but there will be no connection you can make. Because peering connection is one thing, then you have to allow the traffic also. And for traffic, there's a thing you need to do. First, you need to keep your IPs ready. For example, here I'm going in VPC. Under the VPC, you have one demo VPC, right? Demo VPC range is 10.0.0, this one, right? And then you have test VPC, and the range of that is, this is the range. Copy this. This is a range, right? So keep remember these ranges. And now go back to routing tables. When you go to routing tables, you have a routing table for test VPC, right? Go to test VPC routing table, go to routes. Here you need to edit a route and add route. This is for which route? This is for test, right? Need to click on this test. Go to routes, edit routes. In test one, you need to add for demo one. This is IP. This is the IP range, CADR block range. And you need to add here peering connection. Under the peering connection, test peering connection, save changes. This is test VPC. Now, similarly, you need to go in public subnet, public routing table of demo VPC. This is the entry, right? You need to go routes, edit routes, and add an entry of opposite test VPC, right? Copy this range, and here peering connection. This is the peering connection. Save changes. That's it, guys. Now you can connect it. Try it once. Connect. Cool. It is asking you details, right? Details you can give. Administrator, right? And password you can retrieve. Go to EC2 instances. This is the instance. Go to security, get window password. Upload private key file. And this is the win key. Decrypt this, copy, and paste here. That's it. Connect. You are connected with another VPC machine. Right, guys? You are with me following this? Any questions so far?
Yes. So the VPC pairing can be done inside the one account and maybe with a different region as well, right? So when there is a situation like we have to pair two VPCs in a two different AWS account. So is it possible? If yes, then how?
Physical. This is feasible. You need to go to peering connections. When you create a peering connections, it will allow you. For example, I'm just getting ABC and VPC requester is demo VPC. If you say another account, in that case, you need to choose another account. In another account, you need to give account ID. Account ID will be copied from that another account ID. You need to copy here. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thanks.
No worries. Guys, I have to stop here because I have another meeting at 6:30. Probably otherwise I could have covered this endpoint also for you. So endpoint is also very easy. So once you go for endpoints, you have to create an endpoint and you will say for which services you are going to create an endpoint. For DynamoDB, for S3, every services AWS is gradually giving an endpoint. So endpoint, in short, endpoint meaning is that internally it uses private link technology. Private link means it is creating a tunnel between your VPC and AWS network. It is going to create one tunnel, and that thing is very, very popular. Nowadays, everyone is using endpoint. So probably I can take another time to explain you this endpoint. Till now, you can let me know whatever I've explained you have any questions, anything. In case you want to see a course content that we are offering, this is a course of content. What you can do is probably you can talk to Amit on this number. He will be sharing every detail with you in terms of what's the fees we are charging, how much hours it is going to take. There are two varieties we are giving. One is AWS Architect, one is AWS DevOps. So you can talk to him and let me know if you are interested for it. So I'm good for today. This is a number. Thank you very much, guys. I'm dropping the call.
Thanks a lot for your time.
No worries.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Yes, sir.